Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. There is no second best live YouTube stream to talk about markets. I said good morning. The kids are saying good monad. I had to make the joke on today's stream. We'll have to be talking about the monad airdrop. But welcome, guys. I'm Snorlax. You also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Big Louie and, of course, Max. We're going to be having a great show for you all today. Kicking off another week in markets, and it is Thanksgiving week, man. We're officially coming into the holiday season. Hopefully we're feeling more festive than the coins seem to be feeling. But nevertheless, guys, we're gonna have a great show for you all today. Before we can talk about this weekly open pump that we're seeing across markets, the monad airdrop, and anything else that might be on our mind today, I'm gonna need you guys to hit the like button. Last week was bad. Usually we let it slide, right? Especially in the current market conditions. But last week, the like button was very much slacking. So we might have to bring back the soybeans on today's stream. And I am completely serious when I say that. We need to run the like button up. I know we're in a bear market for the likes, but we need to do our best to run that up as much as humanly possible. But yeah, don't make me show soybeans today. It's Monday, right? Let's get this week off to a great start. But yeah, all right. Let's talk about the markets. Thus far, we are seeing some green here on a Monday. That is, I feel like that's kind of been a theme over the last few weeks, where we see some green on Monday or Tuesday, and then we kind of sell into the end of the week. Let's see if that tendency shifts now and we see maybe some continued relief rallies here from this market. Obviously, equities up about 1.25% today. Crypto, it's green, not on a relative basis as much as equities. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Google put in a huge gap candle higher. You're seeing some relief from something like Nvidia, which sold off on Friday and Thursday. But crypto, I think, is showing some signs that, hey, maybe this is the local bottom, right? We're going to discuss it on today's show, whether or not this is a local bottom, whether we're going to see selling potentially continue. We don't have Prometheus here at the moment, but I know he's been calling for, as he says, a Satan rally, which is just a big complacency shoulder. We're going to talk about all the scenarios that this market could potentially throw at us here into the end of the year. But yeah, I hope everybody's having a great start to the week. Welcome back. How is everybody on the panel doing? Did we do anything fun over the weekend? And what are we seeing in the markets?
Got to watch some football yesterday with the boys. That was fun.
The Jets took it easy. And they're pretty well, Louis.
Yeah, not bad. At this point, just lose out. Kind of similar to these markets. At this point, just nuke it. And we'll pick up the pieces. So that was my weekend. Seeing some squeeze out of equities this morning. Interested to see how it plays out. The last two trading days for equities opened up green, strong to the upside, and then by the end of the trading day, they flipped red and negative. So interested to see how equities kind of do today. It's pretty much what I'm mainly watching. I think equities are going to give us the signal we need as far as crypto, right? If equities remain stubborn, they remain elevated, don't break down, I think it makes sense for us to see some sort of sustainable rally or bounce out of crypto. But if it doesn't, right, and then equities can roll over here, it's difficult for me to try to look and play any bounces as of now in crypto. So pretty much all eyes on equity markets for me. Are they going to kind of flip the script like they had last two trading days, open up green, gapping to the upside, and then closing red? We'll see. But I think that, equities are going to give us the signal that I need to kind of make a decision here, right? Because technically, as far as crypto is concerned, I think we're coming into some levels that make sense to bounce, right? Bitcoin, we did close a pretty bearish continuation candle to the downside, right, after our market structure break the prior week. This, last week also, bearish continuation candle. No signs of any sort of reversal yet on the weekly. We are coming into a little bit of market structure. Do I think this is super rock solid? Not really, to be honest. I mean, again, can provide an area and some demand for some sort of bounce here. But at the end of the day, I think a majority of our major demand and major market structure down here in this area. So pretty much more or less waiting for this area unless equities remain strong, continue their uptrend, and then we get a nice save out of Bitcoin. But right now, pretty much watching equities. ETH as well here, coming into an area of interest, right? I have these kind of zones mapped out. Here's a good area of interest. Range lows is an area of interest for me. Kind of coming into this rising trend line here on ETH. So we did kind of tag that. Technically speaking, we're in an area where we should see some sort of bounce. It really just kind of depends on equities for me. So that's what I'll be watching and keeping the Discord updated on as we move forward here.
The equity market seems to love the Google narrative right now. I don't know if you guys have heard it.
What happened with Google?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with AI and new innovation, of course.
They said the word AI 3 times.
Right? I mean, it seems to be kind of the new breadwinner as far as the Mag 7 goes.
Who is this?
I don't even know who that is.
I gotta look him up now.
I did see this and it made me laugh though.
Great.
Anytime you airdrop tokens to like 85,000 people,
oh my god,
you're probably gonna.
I guess
have
I kind of see
on QGE.
Let's see if I can copy and paste a picture here.
I've talked about this before, and I don't want to like take up too much time discussing it today, but I do feel like the fact that we kind of have these pre-markets now through perps for some of these tokens before they TGE really takes a lot of like the bullish price discovery away, on the day of.
Well, I didn't get an airdrop today, so I'm just a hater because I wasn't a participant, so I have no choice. You know what I mean? Like if you don't get the airdrop, you have to be a hater.
They gave me free money, so I'm not gonna slander.
Yeah,
but
so I got the airdrop. I did dabble in a little bit of the Coinbase pre-sale just because I've never done that before. I think the timing of the mainnet launch is interesting if we do get a high time frame reversal within the next month or two, right? A fresh new product coming out right before a high time frame reversal could be good timing as far. I think timing is a big part of a project success as far as when they launch. So I did dabble a little bit, pretty much matched what I was going to get on the airdrop. So kind of looked at it as like a free shot to take. Probably going to hold it for now. It's going to be volatile around the launch. It seems that as though consensus online is pretty much it's just going to another VC token. It's going to go to 0. So we'll see. It definitely could, but sometimes I like to fade that consensus. So we'll see.
Is that British HODL?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can see it a little bit.
I see it a little. I can't deny.
I don't really see it. Like if you take the glasses off,
it's the glasses. I think.
I mean, I think it's just that you're both bald. Like I don't really think like if you both had hair, like you wouldn't really look alike. I feel like.
Maybe he's got the chinkier eyes too, like me. Like I see it, but I've never heard of him.
British HODL.
Anyways.
Just a British guy that loves the HODL, I guess.
Well, everyone knows where everyone is from nowadays, right? On X.
I never got that feature.
That's true,
by the way.
If you click on Max, if you go to your profile and click on like the joined date, you can see where you're from.
No, but like on my, is it on your phone too, or is it just?
It should be.
It's on the phone. I couldn't do it on
my phone. Let me check my. Oh, it works on the computer.
Yeah, but some guys can change it still. Like there are ways to modify it too.
You can change your location in your bio, but the geodoxing, I think, will still get you.
I like it.
I just say that because I know there were a bunch of like soccer accounts getting exposed for being from a certain area of the world when they claim to be from, like the native city of the team. But I don't know. I thought there was way too much content around the geodoxing yesterday. Like my entire feed was talking about it. I really didn't care that much at the end of the day.
Yeah, I thought about putting my 2 cents out there, and I was like, not even worth it. It is what it is.
Wow.
It's NFL Sunday. I'm going to focus on something more productive.
I will actually say epic feature.
Yeah.
I will be the minority maybe that thinks it's epic.
I would agree.
I'm in the same camp. I like it.
I think it's super cool. I think it's needed. I think.
Wait. Sorry. I just read this comment. I'm like, how? Like, how do people always like come up with like random understanding of what someone said? When did I expect? Wait. Was he talking about E's downside to 10K?
Well, that doesn't make sense. So.
This is hilarious, man. Just looking at people's profile.
Yeah, a lot of people got exposed. A lot of people freaking out, and I think there's a big. I think there's a lot of accounts out there that want to use the anonymity under the guise of safety, but it's really just truly is a lack of accountability, and stuff like that. That's how I kind of feel about it. As someone puts my face out there, it's not like that your addresses were dropped. Like it just says the country. So let's take a chill pill here. But people want to have their cake and eat it too. They want a large platform. They want to have influence, but then they don't want to say who, what, or where they are. Every other industry in the world, you have to do that if you want to be a professional. So I'm not opposed to it, but that's just me.
Well said, Louis. I completely agree. I wish it was more information, man. I wish it was like your name, everything, man. I'm like, because the amount of people that just say whatever they want online and they don't have to stand by it is a problem. And I was seeing a lot of like politically charged accounts getting exposed. What I was seeing yesterday, and maybe some of it was fake, was like,
I think some fake.
These accounts that were either super like conservative or super liberal, US politics. They were like from somewhere in Asia or like India. And it's like, you're just inciting violence. Like you're just riling people up. And like, you don't even live here, like you're just, it's ridiculous, man. It's a problem. So I think it's a great feature.
Wow, is this true, Jackass?
Oh.
You had 16 name changes? Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I don't remember that. I only remember making one in like 2022 or something. Maybe that was like when I started my Twitter initially. And who knows?
I see 14 for Jackass. That's a lot. Let me see how many I have. I feel like I have like a few, maybe.
I think you had 2 or 3. I looked at everybody's.
I started my Twitter in 2017, right? But they didn't really started to like post about markets until like 2020. And I think since then I had one nick change, which was from Jekis_trader to I am Jekis in 2022 or something.
My original name was Bobby Maxwell Rod. Very few remember the Bobby Maxwell Rod lore. All right.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah,
Bobby Maxwell Rod was the best, man.
By the way, I think I like what Prometheus said today on the Discord. That I think, and I agree with it. I think Twitter is negative alpha nowadays.
That's horrible.
I've seen lots of good people just disappear. People I was friends with from the prior cycles. They just stated like, "Hey, I'm closing this account and not gonna post anymore.
Yeah, I don't really like going on Twitter anymore, man. It was really fun for a bit. I feel like I always learned something, or it felt different. But honestly, I hate it now. Like, it's just, you don't learn anything. And I feel like when your account gets to a certain size, it really just becomes unbearable. You know, it was fun when I had like a couple thousand followers, you know, because you can kind of shit post and have fun and like it's casual. And then, dude, just the amount of people that are just idiots online, it's unbearable. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way to like it again. I can't right now. It's unbearable.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think somebody said it best over the summer that like it's almost a lagging indicator anymore of what people have already done within the market. So you're just getting like these super reactionary takes from positions that have already been taken that are, you know, almost like interpreted as sentiment in the moment, but it is kind of just like a hindsight window into what people have already done in the market.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't learn anything from Twitter, man, anymore. Like, it used to be such a great resource, and I don't even like posting anymore because I'll post and it's just like, why am I even posting? Like, no, like people are just rude, you know? Like, I don't like, why do I even care? Like, I'm just gonna trade, you know? And I actually think it's really a problem because there are people that used to make a good attempt at like honest content and education. And they basically just came to the conclusion that I did, where they're like, fuck it, what do I even care? Like, fuck you. I don't care. I'm not going to teach you anything. I'm not going to share. Like, work harder, you know, watch my stream or like, you know, don't.
People
but
don't
here's
understand.
The thing, like, YouTube is better in the sense that like, you know, you can't just like say anything about anybody and like the whole world sees it, right? We can just do our content and like we have control over like our channel. Twitter's chaos, man. Like anybody for any reason anywhere can just like come and spew anything they want about you or your content. And like if you address it, then more people see it. And then if you don't address it, it's like you're just taking it. It sucks, man. Like fuck Twitter, honestly, man. Like it used to be so fun. I just can't do it anymore. Not worth it.
Yeah. Fuck Twitter.
Fuck Twitter, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, the goal was
But
to help people.
The problem or question I asked was, what's the alternative? And there is none.
Well, we have the Discord, which is good.
The
I'd much rather
alternative,
just
man,
spend time.
the alternative is you just start like you make enough money trading and you're just like, yeah, I'm fucking good. Like, piss off, guys.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, but
Like,
you're
and then
not
they just
making
disappear.
like.
How many people did that happen to last cycle? They're just gone, you know?
Yep.
Like, where'd they go?
Yeah, but the question is, are they gone because they made it, or are they gone because they round tripped it and got liquidated?
Yep.
I mean, it's potentially both, you know?
It's probably both. No, I mean, I remember there were so many. The vibes were so different for one in 2021, man. Like if you weren't there, then you'll just. I hope they come back someday, but like they were so pristine. The vibes on Twitter in like 2021 and even 2022, man. I felt like the vibes were pretty good, you know. Just there wasn't as much cynicism around like fundamentals within crypto.
There was a sense of camaraderie.
Hadn't been shattered yet. You hadn't watched your tokens go down like 95% in the bear market.
Yeah, there's a sense of camaraderie. There was like fundamental research and all that stuff. Now it's just
there's so much slop.
Just
there's so much slop.
People trying to dunk on other people. Like it's just garbage.
You know what I've seen the most about Twitter, which has been the most disheartening, is like I think a majority of people out there right now have tried to build their like brands or like their businesses around disparaging other people and like causing division.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old high school bully trick. It's like just divide them. You know what I mean? Like pin people against each other and then like you gain control and loyalty or whatever. And it's There's just so much of that right now. Like, I was right. Like, look how right I exposed them for being wrong and like scammers.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Like, that's the truth. Like, you were a high school girl. Like, what are you talking about?
It's a moral high ground because they picked a market direction better than somebody else. It's like,
and lots
sick,
of times
dude.
they
Like,
didn't even pick it better than somebody else.
Yeah.
They just like pretended, like they just want to pretend like they do, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, bro. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what fixes it. I think that the country thing is a good start, you know, but like and I never thought I would say this. Like, I actually do not think people deserve to have their anonymity protected online at all. I thought for a long time like it was the greatest thing. But I've seen how bad it gets when people don't have to stand by the words that they say. You know, because people will say things to me, right? And I'm like, you would never say that to me in person because that's not how people communicate. You know what I mean? Like, you would never act like that. And furthermore, if you said the things that you do online and like acted the way you do, you would be fired from your job. All of your friends would not talk to you because you'd be clinically insane. So you wouldn't say those things if you actually had to live by them, right? So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I've seen the kind of damage that it can cause, and I've seen like I've just seen that it's only led to like worse things. I've only like more people are worse off because of it. Good people get hurt because of it. And it's like, yeah, you should have to stand by the things that you say. You know, like, I actually be fully in favor of Twitter like putting in some filter where it's like you can only communicate with this account via retweet, even view their stuff if you like issue a government ID with like your name and info on it, and then you can leave it up to the person to decide whether they want to allow anonymous people to even view their content. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a shitty place, man. Like, I would not recommend. I would not recommend being on Twitter. Not at all. Not these days.
It was way different in 2018, though. That's for sure. Or like during the bear market and after, like people, would be like, "Oh, I've studied this," and everyone would be like, "Oh, let's explore this new thing, called whatever RSI, stochastic, FVGs, whatever, order blocks, and all of that." And everyone would be like, "Oh, cool." There were like very few hints of this mentality, ICT and few others, but generally the space was really helpful towards each other, and it was it was growing. People believe it's definitely the dark ages right now. I still have my hopes that it changes in the future, if not on Twitter, then at least in the space, but we shall see.
Well,
Coins, guys.
Let's talk about the coins.
Not all at once.
Darn it, we have to talk about the
I do agree. So it was like memes. It was the Sol community of people who said it doesn't matter what it is, it's just a ticker. But before that, it was the VCs who launched ridiculously high FDV coins onto the market and then dumped on retail. So like that's where it started pretty much. And before that, it was obviously like people launching, just worthless shit without, they just launched like idea without any product behind. Then it was like products behind, and then it was FDVs, and then this cycle people said, just fuck it, I don't believe in anything, let's just launch a funny name ticker, and it ended with stuff like useless fart coin, or like those names in general. Like it went to the extreme of an extreme. We saw very racist names being launched on pump.fun. I think the market went like full circle, where right now it needs to restart where it began, right? Like it went full circle, and that circle ended with like absurdity of the absurdity, with millions of coins having no liquidity, of course, but still, being launched. And now it needs to go full circle back to the beginning, where the space needs to become about digital assets, about bringing in value and making people believe again. That's the only way the space can go forward. I'm not saying memes will not have their place in the space, because speculation will always be there, always. But I think it's just going to be a few very picky ones. I don't think we will see anything like what we saw, in 2023 anytime soon. So once again, it needs to become about, like as you said, people need to believe. It needs to be supportive. It needs to be about building, not about like one taking or dumping onto the other.
Yeah. We went from like fundamentals to fundamentals of meme.
Financial nihilism, Louis.
Yeah, well, but for a good reason, I guess, because it was easier to hide when like we had cycles like 2021 and 2017 where things did go up, but this go around, like especially throughout 2022, 2023, like the VCs just got way out of hand with like launching tokens. Sure, they might have been fundamental sound and had use cases and good intentions, but just the amount of just openly selling on the investors' head, retail's head, pushed people out of that sector into the meme coins. But then it got ridiculous on that side too, where it turned into a cabal, and fundamentals of meme doesn't matter. And
you just had like smaller groups of fish.
Yeah, it was just
retail.
Yeah, it was different groups of insiders. It was the same exact thing, just with funny tickers. But it was like the insiders who had the vested tokens or the initial tokens pre-sale were just dumping on the retail, and it was just the same thing happening again, just on a smaller scale. So I agree. It has to come full circle, right? We kind of got to get back to real world use cases, digital assets, like Jack has been saying for months. And that's where I'm going to be focused too. Like I'm kind of pretty much, just on-chain market, and on-chain is going to, we're going to find utility plays on-chain, but the on-chain meme coin stuff, like I'm sure there'll be a time for that if and when, but it's left a bad taste in my mouth. It doesn't seem right to push this space forward. We need to get back to the basics, in my opinion. So we'll see. But and I think it's going to come full circle. I think that this is what the market needed.
Well, I think for me, like what I've kind of accepted is the barometer for the market's acceptance of fundamental narratives is what does the Hyperliquid chart look like? Because we've said it before on this stream, but if you can't count on something like Hyperliquid to move higher on the premise of fundamentals and buybacks, then what token can you really expect to do that? And I know the market cap it's high, right? I mean, I think the circulating market cap right now is like 10 or 11 billion. So there are certainly smaller tokens to find opportunity in, but I think just kind of touching on themes that we've discussed on the show and that Louis just touched on, right? I mean, we kind of need to see a shift into quality moving forward for crypto and tokens that not just have like revenue I mean, it really kind of is that simple, right? Like which tokens are actually revenue generating businesses, because if they don't have that capacity, then how can you even speculate on their future beyond like their first initial cycle?
Yes, that's where it needs to head. Revenue share, buybacks. There's been, lots of the projects had a pretty decent working model, but they have not been sharing it with the token holders. It's just been a governance token, and the bet was that the governance will turn into a revenue, shared token, and that is where some projects during this downturn are turning. It's the right direction, and that's where I believe the space is headed.
I think meme coins will run again, but
yeah, for sure. I'm not saying
only a few.
Yeah, I think it's only a few. Like, I don't think Doge is going to zero. I think Doge will stick around because it's an OG meme. It's actually, not going anywhere. I think like a Doge ETF just launched this week or last week or something like that. But all like the on-chain like Cabal token supply, bundled supply type tokens, like those are not coming back. Or at least they shouldn't, and there's going to be stuff that pops here and there.
The cat pops, Louis. I'm kidding, but I think it is fairly safe to assume that like if it's from Solana, it's probably not coming back. And I know that's kind of ironic because it's the meme chain, but I just don't really know of any meme coin on Solana that right now I can point to and be like, yeah, that's a narrative that's guaranteed to come back. I have some personal favorites because I like the meme, but truthfully, I mean, there's not really anything that tells me with any level of certainty that it's going to come back. I like cats. That's it, right? I don't have to use otherwise on the Solana blockchain. I mean, everybody's going to say my meme's coming back, but
yeah,
it's probably not.
You like Purr, Tommy?
I like Purr as the primary beta of Hyperliquid, right? I mean, I think when we talk about meme coins, they really need it's almost kind of oxymoronic because meme coins don't need a reason to exist. But at the same time, we have so many memes that you almost need a reason to exist to catch a bid again, or you need some lore about the meme coin beyond just that it was on the internet at one point for it to pump again.
It's all the way back at the lows. Kind of drew out this scenario, I think like a week or two ago. I was either looking for a move here or a drop down to these lows. The question is, does it stop here? Or maybe one more stab. But even with beta stuff, I'm much, this, I feel like this cycle kind of taught me a lot too, where sometimes it's better just to own the alpha.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're seeing that in stocks too. The strong names are just strong, right? And they remain strong for very long. And sometimes beta catches up. Sometimes beta makes a move. But over time, sustainability wise, the alpha might, it can be the better play versus trying to chase the beta. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, hype, I think.
That's a rough structure. I've been trying to pick my brain all weekend. I know I've seen that structure somewhere before. And for the life of me, I cannot remember. Yeah, that just disgusting head and shoulders pattern. I know I've seen it before, and I cannot for the life of me remember where.
Kaspa?
No.
Do we
remember? I really can't remember. I've been skimming charts for the last few days. I couldn't figure it out, but I know I've seen that pattern before because it's a very distinct topping pattern. It's a rough look for hype at these current prices, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're finally going to see some team unlocks here in about 4 or 5 days. So they're going to be able to, the team is finally going to be able to sell some Hyperliquid tokens. And it has been really funny watching people freak out about this. The team has not sold any tokens up to this point and people are freaking out. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? But I've also speculated that I think a lot of this unlock could come in the form of an airdrop to power users. So fingers crossed that we get blessed on Thanksgiving again.
That'd be great. I'd be a happy boy.
I still think that, the best thing to do with hype is just put Bitcoin down under, and it really tells you the story. I think where BTC will go to sub-April lows, hype will not. And when BTC is bottomed, hype is bottomed, and then the turnaround can happen. And the question is, how strong can hype remain while Bitcoin is weak, or how much lower can CZ take down the market only to pull back hype just a few percentage lower?
He's been shorting Hyperliquid. I don't know if you've been following that, Jackus, but there's this random entity on Hyperliquid that shorts a bunch of Hyperliquid with a very, very tight liquidation price at the exact same time, conveniently, I know, at the exact same time that a Binance entity shorts millions and millions of dollars worth of Hyperliquid. So there is kind of like this coordinated effort, I think, by Binance to lower the price of Hype.
I would still blame it on market makers, this current drop. In general.
On Hype or just in general?
In general. I think when I look at IWM and the size it dropped, I think there is no justification for the magnitude of how much ETH or Bitcoin or the space dropped.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like this pullback on IWM, not much at all, right? I mean, and it looks as if it could possibly save itself here, you know, if it doesn't reject on the underside here and roll. I think it's overblown, whether it's market makers, whether it's manipulation, whether it's, you know, bag filling, you know, whale manipulation that they want to get positioned. I still do think that there's a big move back to the upside when all is said is done, but we just kind of got to get through it. And again, I'm kind of watching equities to see what plays out, because I would say that you know, looking at like something like the S&P on the daily time frame, starting to look a little heavy, right? Starting to look a little lethargic. This has been pretty much just a stair step grind higher for multiple months in a row without any sort of major correction. Like we're just starting to see one now, right? So, you know, losing daily trend here, starting to curl over. You know, if we see a rollover out of equities, you know, I don't think we're done to the downside yet in crypto. We totally can be, again, because I think the main thesis is that crypto and Bitcoin are kind of leading the sell-off and front running that we might see in equities, right? So if we are, you know, maybe crypto and Bitcoin do front run the bottom as well, but I don't see a super strong rally in the face of equities selling off. But again, equities haven't really sold off just yet. You know, equities have been known to see pullbacks like this and then just save itself and go back to all-time highs, right? So that could happen. And if we see that, you know, maybe we are bottomed. You know, that's why I'm kind of watching equities kind of take out the guesswork.
Equities are going to catch up in one candle.
Yeah.
Maybe exaggerating, but I think that's kind of how it's going to be. It's going to be a lot like the spring.
We need Trump to reverse the pardon, yeah.
What the hell is this?
Thank you for the super chat. Are we bullish on alien disclosure?
If they buy my bags,
that must be something with U.S. government disclosing the existence of aliens, I suppose.
I mean, I think
they've been trying to do that for months
or whatever. Kind of like they're trying to float the idea out, right?
They're trying. They've been doing it for a while. They did it like 6 to 9 months ago too, and like they like made an announcement like, oh, like UFOs might be real, and like no one gave a shit. It's like, okay,
because everyone already knows that UFOs are real, and it's like, yeah just
it's
say
like
it already.
that meme. It's like that meme that came out last year where like the aliens greet the Wojak or the Chud or whatever, and they're like, "You're not surprised? I'm going through a lot right now."
Yeah, I got time for that.
Yeah, it's like UFOs are real. Well, perfect, but can you turn around the prices now?
Yeah, like are they going to pay my bills?
This market, nobody give a shit.
Are the aliens coming to pay our bills?
Can the aliens bid Ethereum finally?
So, yeah, VIX, they're selling off again.
I think the main reason for me why I think that equities will slide from here rather than continuing this like pattern that they've been in and floating to new highs is strictly because of Nvidia. I know we have Google ripping to new highs, but if the S&P trades to the highs from here, right, like price discovery, Nvidia would engulf that full earnings retrace that we had last week. And I do think that's fairly important at a contextual level, at the minimum, for Nvidia. Like that was almost kind of the market rejecting positive fundamentals on Nvidia, which is why I don't really think we're going to be trading above that candle on Nvidia. And also, as a byproduct of that, well, I don't really think that equities are going to make all-time highs from here before dumping more.
I would agree. I think, Nvidia, we see it on the S&P and stuff too, like other indexes and other tickers that this earnings pop and drop. This is a significant daily candle. This is a single day reversal, very significant in my opinion, and is hinting at downside. Like this was this move probably in theory, right? The false hope that a lot of market participants received when Nvidia beat earnings, usually and normally probably would have sent it. But you saw it popped, immediately rejected, harsh rejection to the downside along with the rest of the market. And I think as long as you're just dinking around like below these single day reversal candles, they could like float it up here a little bit. But I think ultimately, as long as you're below the highs of these candles that we're seeing, I think it's safer to be defensive and expect rollover. The problem is, I think a lot of equity investors and traders are very complacent in the fact that they're used to this, right? They're used to this. They're used to this, right? They're used to that and just getting saved. So I think a lot of that has to unwind a little bit, and crypto is kind of giving that hint, right? If crypto was doing fine and Bitcoin was trading fine, I'd be like, oh yeah, probably just another save at equities, keep going higher. But we're seeing some cracks here. You can see it on the S&P too. Like this is a significant daily candle, single day reversal. So again, they could float it up and dink it around here, but if we start breaking this candle to the upside, there's a shot we go for new highs. But until then, they could dink it around here all they want. I'm still looking for downside in equities first. So
yeah, it's like equities are in this. Really, like perpetually, equities are in this push-pull with volatility in the markets, right? And so when you're able to get volatility crushed back down into levels where it was trading maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, the market can keep making new highs just by shorting vol. But when we hit this saturation point, which I think we're in right now, and that we've obviously had happen like multiple times over the last 12 to 15 months, when we make these local tops, is volatility rises. And as volatility rises, they can't crush it. And so the ceiling for equities kind of like it compresses, given that correlation. So one is going to have to break, right? Either volatility is going to have to break down, or it's going to break higher. And the end result for that is, obviously if it's the latter, it's equities going to be trading lower. And yeah, I think that context still makes a lot more sense to me right now than just floating it back up to new highs after what we saw with Nvidia last week. But hey, we could be wrong.
Nvidia is kind of a single point of failure for the market right now, which on top of that, I think part of the reason we're just floating high. Nice day today. Looks like the NASDAQ is up a couple percent.
Sure.
It clearly has something to do with the next FOMC rate decision. I'm pretty sure last week it was like 50-50 whether we were going to get another cut. And right now it's like 75 or 80%. So clearly that has something to do with the day-to-day movements of the market right now.
Didn't the odds shift back on like Friday or over the weekend for a cut in December?
Yeah, I think so.
One red day in the equity markets. Like they had one red day and all of a sudden the odds like drastically went higher for a rate cut.
I think I said this last week, but they're equity market traders are babies, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're babies.
They
have
are
no
babies.
idea what a bad day is.
Oh, so you think darkness is your ally? I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't know it was light until I was a grown man.
Yeah. Yeah, the amount of freakouts I saw the other day when equities sold off a little bit. They're like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. There's no news. Why are we selling? This makes no sense. It's like, yeah. Have you been watching Bitcoin and crypto for the last month or nah?
On
Just
any
getting
given day,
absolutely
Bucko.
shafted. That's our average Tuesday. Not
wouldn't
even.
get it. You wouldn't get it.
Hey, look, you come for the volatility, you stay for the volatility, right?
You come for the volatility, you get wrecked, and then you stay out of vengeance and hunger to make it all back in one trade.
Vengeance.
Sounds about right.
Okay, I was actually looking at Kaspa the other day. So
Man,
I have a very similar level marked out personally. It's not like a prophecy that I think it has to get there. It's more of just like if it gets there, I'm interested. To me, it looks like this. To me, looks like the last cycle first Bitcoin top, or just like a classic topping structure where you have distribution, that shoulder right underneath it, and now we're just kind of doing like the slow bear market bleed down, and we're gonna kind of probably curl up at some point or just base out. And I could see that being under 2 cents. And at that point, I would be seriously interested. You know, we're talking about, Jack is always talks about this, but like this idea that we need fundamentals to come back and we need people to believe in the technology again. We need to talk about digital assets, right? Kaspa fundamentally is one of the more sound projects out there, without question. It was also a fair launch. It's not littered with VCs and scammers and insiders. You know, it's a really solid proof of work network. And it checks all the boxes for me personally. It's clear that like it had a cycle, and now that cycle is over and it's going through a bear market right now. But I'm still very interested in this project. I mean, I crushed it on this. This was one of my best trades last year, actually, as I was shoving at like 8 to 10 cents. And then I sold the whole thing at literally like 20 cents, like just under 20 cents, the whole thing, right on August 5th, right before the whole market gave out. Because Bitcoin was starting to slide. We got a high unemployment report. We missed by like 20 bips. And Kaspa hadn't started to drop yet. And I was like, Bitcoin sliding, this shit's going to give out. And I sold the whole thing on an airplane. So lucky, good timing, whatever.
You are lucky you had good signal on the plane.
I know that was lucky. That was really lucky. But I have this on my watch list. I look at it all the time. I am very interested in Kaspa. I just don't know if I think it's quite done bleeding here yet. But I am very interested in it.
Yeah, I like Kaspa. Oh, what happened? Oh, here I am.
It's like so many of these alts hit demand zones and then just keep nuking through them.
Like the question is like, are we going to fully fill these wicks or not? Because, you know, wicks get filled, but they don't always fill all the way all the time. Sometimes you get 50, 75% of the wick, and you kind of stop there. But sometimes you also get the full wick or deviate the wick and fully kind of complete that. Like that's kind of what I'm looking at. Like even something like XRP, right? Let's look at it. They just got I think they just got they've been getting a couple different ETF launches like last week and this week, I think. But like this wick, it's, you know, all the way down here, right? We're about 50% of the way. Sometimes that's enough, right? Sometimes that's enough. Other times it's no, you got to fill the wick, get maybe deviate or stop on a dime at the wick low, reestablish a floor, and then go, right? So the question is half or 3/4 of the way fill enough on these wicks, or is it not? And again, I think it all depends on equities. If equities puke, we're getting one last stab lower, I think, on Bitcoin, ETH, altcoins. If they don't, maybe we're bottomed, right? Maybe we're at least locally. Prometheus kind of pointed this out too. I think it was around here. We saw something similar when the S&P and equity started showing a little weakness towards the end of 2024, right? This was like November, December of 2024, started showing signs of weakness, but remained stubborn, like kind of showed weakness, rallied back to the highs, and didn't actually end up rolling over until February, right? And then we got the big drop. So it looked like it was going to drop, rallied, stagnated after running the highs, and then you rolled over in February when you started kind of selling off and looking weak in November, December. So we could also see something like that as well, right? Where equities look heavy, makes sense to see a rollover. They remain stubborn longer than most like. You kind of get this float back to all-time highs. You make fresh all-time highs, retrap everyone that got bearish or defensive, saying, okay, well, we're rallying back to all-time highs. This can keep going higher. Retrap everybody, and then maybe beginning of next year, a month or two in, then we see the drop we're looking for. That's also another scenario I'm looking for, right? Because I don't want to be too one-sided on my thinking here. So that's also something I'm going to be prepared for and be watching for. And in a scenario like this, I think we can see a sustained bounce out of Bitcoin and ETH. The sad part is it might just elongate this process of what I think is going to happen, which is them going lower first, but we're going to have maybe a month or so long worth of bounce first before rolling over again, right? So I don't know. We're in a tough spot here.
Louis, how's the Meatstick meter looking?
What do you want to see it on here? Equities?
I don't know,
Let's
like
take
the
a look.
daily time frame for equities, maybe.
Yeah, let's look at it here. Put the daily on. It's likely yellow or orange. The fact, just by looking at this, the fact that we're below our EMAs here, MAs. Let's see, give it a second here. So we're actually red on the daily. We got yellow up in here, gave the warning signals. Now we're flipping red, right? So that's a little bearish. It has work to do, right? It would have to get back above these EMAs, back above market structure, start flipping back yellow to green. But right now, higher time frame bearish, lower time frame right now flipping bullish. The market's trying to bounce. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Again, probably yellow or red here. You're below your local MAs. Yep. So, look at the sell signal it gave here. It's a pretty good signal. Red for now, right? Red for now. So maybe until we see a green dot on the daily for the NASDAQ, you see it reclaim these MAs, reclaiming market structure. Maybe the caution I have in equities can be short-lived, and I flip back for the time being. But as of now, kind of matches my feelings. Red on the daily for NASDAQ and S&P. Let's look at the Russell. Probably maybe orange or yellow, but possibly red.
I mean, we're getting quite a buyback here on Monday for equities, arguably into a supply region.
I think it's an underside
week.
Yeah. I think it could be an underside.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of tag here. Something like that, So we'll see. And if it's not, it's not. If we start reclaiming again these candles, let me turn this off for a second so you guys can see. Oh, I have two of them running. Like these single day rejection candles that we got on the Nvidia earnings, right? I'd say below cautious to bearish, right? These candles on stuff like S&P and NASDAQ. You reclaim it, you get above it. Okay, you kind of have to be like, okay, well, we're reclaiming a key significant rejection candle, maybe bullish in the short term, right? But until that happens, again, they could float it up and dink it around here all they want and give a false hope on the lower time frame to these complacent equity investors and traders. But until we see a significant reclaim of these major significant rejections, I'm looking for something like that. Give the fuck you candle. Fuck you pattern. So that's kind of where I'm at. And if I see this, I'm much more likely to start buying back some crypto. But the question is, if we get that, how high off the lows are we going to be already? So it's kind of it's a little bit tough. It's a little bit tough. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place here, I think. So we'll see. Tesla's up pretty big today. But again, just kind of bouncing into downtrend right now. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Tesla kind of looks like Bitcoin back in Q1 now that I'm looking at it.
Q1.
Like if you zoom in.
What do you want, the daily?
Even like the 1 hour. Tesla looks just like Bitcoin did.
Oh, it does. Wow. Yeah. And then we saw a 30% correction. And again, this is that big single day reversal on a lot of stocks. Like, yeah, they're floating it up, looking like they want to reverse, but we're still below this significant reversal. So they could put a 7% up day, get you bullish again just to do this, So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. If we get this, sure. Okay. They're going to run it back to the highs. But for now, I think this is just noise. Like Max said, in a liquid holiday week.
We've got a very big icy people in the comments.
I've been seeing. Let's take a look at it. I think we've looked at this a lot recently.
I know Barry was talking about it.
Was he? Let me retrace that entire pump it had the other day. But
Yeah, it hasn't.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of
Zcash.
those coins that just randomly went up like 50 to 100% a few weeks ago, like Filecoin, they've not caught a bid since. Not to say that this one won't, but I think a lot of the coins that pumped a few weeks ago, like that had a lot to do with Grayscale, which is now we find out now in hindsight is going to be IPOing at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Need more money.
I mean, this could be your massive reaccumulation range, right? Like if there's a place for this to bottom and reaccumulate, it's down here, right? Where it's kind of been the last 2 years. So, I don't hate if you're really bullish on ICP, the fundamentals. I don't know much about it, to be honest. And I know it was around in 2021, got crushed off the ICO. That's all I really remember about it. But, if this is a fundamentally strong token that you like, think it's going to make a comeback. I don't hate taking shots down here on the lower quartile of this, what can be accumulation, right, down here before expansion back the other way. But we've also seen tokens just do this, So pretty much if you start losing your lows, like the lows of this range, just know you could be in store for a lot more of this before any sort of reversal. So at least you're wrong pretty quickly down here as well.
You know what I've been looking at over the last few days that I think is really interesting, Louis?
What?
The soybeans chart.
Oh,
They thought I wasn't going to do it.
he warned you guys.
I did. I even warned them. We are going to break ourselves out of this bear market on the like button, even if it kills me.
Pepperstone.
Why does that actually look pretty good?
Could be a bearish underside retest, or it could be going for a reclaim here.
I kind of like that.
I like that.
Not gonna lie, I kind of like that chart.
Let's drop it down. It's too entertaining.
That is, you're right. It is too entertaining. We need to be looking at the. Let's run the like button up, guys. Let's. The like button was in capitulation mode when I checked a few minutes ago. So let's run the like button up. We appreciate when you guys show us some love, keep the lights on here at BB, and help us continue to bring you this content on a daily basis. I also heard this. Soy is quantum resistant.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
a bit. Well, I can't talk about it. Never mind. Soybeans. Soybeans. Let me know if I get the 15-second. No, I'm too poor. Maybe I should take advantage of a Black Friday sale. By the way, do we have any Black Friday sales?
We do. You can tell them all about it, Louis.
Once we get the likes up, maybe.
Maybe.
Let's see. What are we? Are you watching, Tommy? Are you tracking?
I think they've hit the like button as much as they're going to hit the like button.
Let's see. Sheesh, 131 viewers. This might be the lowest I've ever seen it. They stopped at 69 likes. Okay, 70
I
likes.
still remember when we started in 2023, there were like
That's
20,
true.
30 people when I joined.
I was one of them.
There was still probably like, well, I suppose when you guys started, there was 0 people. And then it slowly started to climb. I remember when we said, hey, let's get to 10 likes today with those 20, 30 people.
Damn, I
So
remember that too.
130
I remember you were handing
people,
out follows on X for like super chats.
130 people is still great. And I mean, it's the bear market, right? Like, it is what it is. Some
Getting a little
people
squeezy poo on crypto here.
Some
Yeah.
people choose to leave in a bear market. Some people choose to keep grinding through the bear market. So,
More so ETH. I mean, look, we're due for a bounce, right? We're coming into levels. We're due for a bounce. Equities are holding strong here. Definitely makes sense. But the question is it worth playing or getting chopped up trying to play a bounce when you think it's going lower, or at least gonna take time to actually bottom? That's the question you have to ask yourself, right? And it's different for everybody. Different for everybody. What's like the percentage? Was like a 36% thus far? Yeah, 36% pullback. Biggest one we've seen yet this cycle, if you even want to call it a cycle anymore. But I mean, we also did this in 2021. 55% drop to new highs. But Tommy made some good points how we are not in the same regime as we were back here.
Yeah, I'm still going to reject all the 2022 bear market bros.
It's fair.
Of which there are many, for the record. There are a lot of people who fall into that category.
Let's look at 2017 then. Yeah, this was your bounce to get out. I'm just not sold on the fact that we do something like this though. Like out of this, I don't think we need like 2 years worth of this. I really don't.
No, we don't.
Unless things get really ugly really quick, But I would say as long as Bitcoin can remain above these highs and this demand, right? I think we're okay for a quicker recovery and not the year-long downtrend, year-long reaccumulation, and then you start the uptrend again. I think we can avoid that if we can maintain these levels. But you start trading below here or failure to bounce any which way at these levels, and you start getting below the 2021 highs, it's not looking good for a long time, right? So Jackus has said this in the past, and I agree. I think this is either going to be the quickest and shortest bear market, or it's going to be one of the longest. And I think there's no in between, really.
You guys want to see something?
Fire away.
Well, what about the like button?
It's probably
It's
not
a pretty
a
good ratio. It's a pretty good ratio.
What is the ratio?
It's a little more than half.
So it's like 70. So it's like 80.
I think so. Last I looked, it was at 70 with 130 viewers. So yeah, we got 80 likes.
Let's do it. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. Tell me, what do you think of this fractal? Oh shit.
Oh man. Looks painful. Oh geez.
Is it Bitcoin inverted in the Dixie below?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh geez.
How do you like this, Anon?
I don't.
Yeah.
I think the context is obviously quite different there, but I think it has some merit, with this move. I think it's sort of like here. But yeah, the context there is way different. Like this high and this high, very different. But locally, there is some merit to it, for sure.
I mean, honestly, it kind of fits my bias, so. And that MicroStrategy chart is quite brutal. Chart only a mother could love.
What do you think about the JPM shorting so much of MSTR?
I think that's just a BS rumor, to be honest.
Maybe.
Like, I don't think that JPM is the reason that MicroStrategy is nuking. Which is what a lot of people, I feel like, are trying to cast it as. And I just think that's...
The reasoning is pretty simple. Like, MSTR traded at a premium compared to how much Bitcoin compared to the Bitcoin price, right? It's been trading at a premium. And so I think if BTC broke to the upside, MSTR would follow. But but like the fact that BTC broke down, it makes no sense for BTC to remain strong. You know, again, it traded at a premium, and BTC decided to break down. It only makes sense that MSTR would break down as well.
I agree with that. Yeah, and I think that, I mean, it's funny to me that like at minus 70%, the conversation is like, oh, who done it? Who done it? I don't know. I think people, I didn't realize people were still like way over invested in this stock, but I guess that they are. Do you guys remember that? What was that X community with MicroStrategy, like irresponsibly long MicroStrategy?
I have no idea. Tell us.
No, I mean, it was just like this X community of people posting their like positions of being irresponsibly long MicroStrategy. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of them are down horrendously right now if they're still holding them. But I will, like, I know a lot of rhetoric is around, you know, MicroStrategy is fine at any price. And I don't really know how you can argue that when the stock is down 70% from all-time highs, while Bitcoin hasn't even traded below 80K. Are you sure MicroStrategy would be fine at any price?
I think it kind of will play out just quicker, sort of like last cycle. So Bitcoin is down 36. It makes sense. MSTR is down 70. In the prior cycle, MSTR was bottomed in May 2022, and BTC still fell like additional 40% lower. I think MSTR can still fall, but I think you know, the stock price will oscillate around premium or discount compared to the Bitcoin price, and the narrative can get extreme for both bullish and bearish side. If BTC drops at an additional like 25% lower from the current prices, I think MSTR has still some lower to go here, but I think it can front run that again. And then once again, if BTC bottoms, then MSTR bottoms. If BTC goes up, MSTR will probably trade up again. And this, in a similar way, it has done so from the 2022 lows.
I agree with that. It is still Bitcoin beta at the end of the day, but it does need Bitcoin to go up with new buyers. I think for me, that's the biggest thing. Like, who's going to be the buyer of Bitcoin here if it's not MSTR?
I think that's a big, sorry.
No, go for it.
I think a big thing, an announcement that a lot of people missed is that was it MSCI kind of announcement stating that a lot of these treasury companies, a lot of these publicly traded companies that hold more than 50% of crypto on their balance sheet might get taken out. And that announcement actually occurred on 10/10. And not many people have talked about it. And this is something I've been seeing a lot more recently. And kind of maybe see why you're seeing Sailor on the defensive. One, because the stock price is down, but two, about like what MicroStrategy is. But, you know, that could be a big reason for people getting out of these stocks, right? We've seen stuff like MicroStrategy. We've seen stuff like BMNR. Obviously directly related to the price of the cryptos themselves, but these have been taking a beating. Even the miners, right? Because they own a significant amount of crypto on the balance sheet as well. If they're going to be getting removed from a lot of the volume that they're seeing, getting removed and taken out of that pool, you know, that could be a bearish thing for these stocks. And it kind of makes the ETFs like BlackRock's or all these Bitcoin ETFs more or less the only game in town versus all of these other products. And maybe that's why, right? Maybe that's the reasoning behind it. But yeah, I think that's very interesting that like that kind of came out on 1010. And we saw what we saw on 1010 and what we've really seen since. Like this was 1010, right? For MicroStrategy. It was trying to reverse. It was trying to bounce. That kind of news came out, which is not official, right? I think we find out in like a month or so if they're going to go through with it or not. But this is kind of when that announcement came out, and then it's been really like this downtrend really started accelerating. But I don't know much about the MSCI, to be honest, but I know it is bigger, right?
You know what's amazing to me, Louis, is that people still milk 1010 for like thread slop on X. I feel like every day I see a thread that's like, here's what really happened on 1010. Thanks. I didn't know what happened on 1010. This thread totally enlightened me versus the 3 that I saw yesterday. Happy engagement farming, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if you guys can relate, but I feel like I see a thread about what actually happened on 1010 like every day now.
I do too.
It's kind of unbelievable at this point. We don't have the reality is we don't really have clarity about what happened on 1010. We have some inclination about what happened. Nothing actually confirmed. Binance clearly made some very large mistakes. You can't really say that much more than that, you know, as much as we want to have some like very sexy narrative to attribute price movements to, it's just not reality. Like we don't have the clarity that we should have, that I've been clamoring for, but I think we'll get it eventually. I just don't know when that's going to be.
Do we think MSTR can put in a bounce here? Like, I feel like if it's not from this level, then I don't really know from where.
I think it can.
I mean, that's a pretty. I mean, that's a pretty clear technical level. Like, if it doesn't hold there, I don't know where it's going to.
Yeah.
BTC is at a pretty clear technical level too. The question is if this bounce gets dragged up for weeks and then we sell lower, or if we go lower immediately from here. I think if BTC is bouncing here to like 95K plus, then MSTR has a good chance of bouncing as well, logically. But if BTC is nuking further, then obviously...
I feel like there was a Thanksgiving like 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and it was just like a massacre. But I can't remember what year it was, and I might be off by a day or two. It
was 2021.
Tommy, you remember it so well.
It was from like 57 to 52K.
Can we look at that quick, Louis? Could you go back on like the daily time frame? See if we can find that day. So check end of November 2021. I remember just referring to it as the Thanksgiving Day Massacre. Was that the drop right there?
Wait, it was like a week before December 4th. Well, obviously it was Thanksgiving, but it was
the first week of December.
It was that jump.
Oh, here, this is it right there. It was nuke on like Thanksgiving, right? The 26th. Bounce, bigger nuke. And then we got this like multi-week kind of reaccumulation bounce that took, it was only a month. And then it took us to the lows. Oh no, this is what I'm thinking of. This is the this is the multi-month kind of bounce. This is what we don't want. Start like making a bottom where we are now, like end of January, early February, bouncing all the way through March. So like 2.5, 3 months of bounce just to continue to go lower, right? Like that's like what we don't want. It definitely can happen. But you know, that's just going to elongate the inevitable, right? Like unless we see a bounce, we recover and then we grow, great. At least we have some clarity. But if we're going to bounce just to do something like this, trap everyone again at the highs just to send it lower, it's just going to elongate this whole entire process.
I feel like it would be much better if we just nuked to like 72K first, but
I would agree.
Not up to me.
Yeah.
Well, the turn at the top tends to be very slow, and then the sell-off is very sudden. So it is just kind of a question. Are we at the sudden part, or do we have to still do the turn?
And they're squeezing equities pretty hard today.
I think it just has to do with the rate probability repricing, honestly. Not sure what else it would be.
My stocks like it.
So that'll definitely be something we need to continue to watch.
My stocks like it, but I still tend to think that this is a fake bounce for equities.
Me too. That's what I'm thinking. But
I mean, it was a Sunday night to Monday open squeeze on a holiday week. Not to be overly skeptical, but I feel like I've seen this before. Bottoms in. Look at everything's ripping. It's Monday. It's Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful for the bounce.
did you say thank you?
Have you ever said thank you? You did?
Not even once. Didn't even say thank you one time.
He was thankful for the giving. The market kept giving him.
The market just gives me so much. Thank you.
All right, I think that's a good spot to wrap up the show. All right, guys. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. If you would like to see us again on this show, a reminder that we host these Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open throughout the week. So catch us again tomorrow. Our typical start time is around 11:15 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But also make sure to tune in for Market Talk, hosted by the legendary King Wabi. That is an X Spaces, hosted through the Because Bitcoin account, as well as King Wabi's account. So make sure to stay following and subscribe to both of those so you can be notified, not just when we schedule those spaces, but of course also when we go live. Additionally, if this current market has been, if you've been struggling with some of these lower time frame movements back and forth, up and down, we do have a solution for you. Check out the Volume Fusion Pro Discord if you're looking for signals based on hourly readings around Max's Volume Fusion Pro indicators on TradingView. All you have to do is sign up for Blofin using our referral link, and you'll be given access to these strategies and more in the future. But that's it from us, guys. We hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back for another episode not tomorrow, but Wednesday. And we'll see what the market is doing when that happens. But until then, guys, thanks again. And of course, stay safe.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal,